Most of us that participated in scouting have developed lifelong friendships with fellow scouts in this program. We earned the rank advancement together, graduated from high school together, attended college together. We still remember those campouts where it rained and it rained and it rained. And Edwin knows those days that we didn't think we could find a fire hot enough to keep us from freezing on those polar bears, to get our polar bear badge. At this time, I'd like to introduce our current Congressman John Barrow, to say a few words about our honoree.
Will Rogers said, and I can remember it like it was yesterday, he said, "It's no great credit to being a comedian in this country when you got the federal government working for you 24/7, 24 days out here." He said, all I have to do is report the facts. I don't even have to exaggerate. Well, it's not such a laughing matter today. And it's no exaggeration to say that one of the reasons why we have a Congress that's held in so low regard is we don't have enough people in it like Roy Rowland. When he was in Congress, he had a whole lot more folks like him. And I think it's one of the main reasons why Congress is as messed up as it is. The good news is that our country is not nearly as messed up as our Congress. I'm glad to know that and note that for y'all. And one of the ways I can show that is what y'all are doing here. The Central Georgia Council, in recognizing Dr. Rowland, is holding him up as an example. And there are thousands of people following his example all over the country, especially through the scouting movement. So I want to honor y'all as you honor him. He's a great example for me and a great example for the rest of us. God bless you, Dr. Rowland.
This gentleman I'm about to introduce, I've never had the privilege of introducing. And I had about 3 pages of notes to introduce him with. But I'm going to throw those out. This man never ceases to amaze me. I have seen him speak I don't know how many times. He can speak for 5 minutes. He can speak for an hour. I have never seen him with a note of any kind. I don't know how he does it, but he does it. Let's welcome Senator Johnny Isaacson.
What a time for me to bring my notes. You know, when they told me they wanted me to say a few words tonight, I said, I'm only going to say a very few. And then I thought to myself, what can I say in just a very few words that could tell you how much I love and like and respect J. Roy Rowland? And then I thought about something. I thought about the Scout Oath and the Scout Promise. I thought about how the life that Roy Rowland has lived is emblematic of everything the Scout Oath says. And then I thought about my life. You know, I've taken 5 important oaths in my life. At the age of 11, I took the Scout Oath when I joined the Boy Scouts in Troop 59 at Peachtree Road United Methodist Church. At age 12, I was confirmed in the Methodist Church and learned the Apostles' Creed. When I was 21 years old, I swore allegiance to my country when I joined the Air Force. When I was 23 years old, I gave my marriage vows to my wife, and we've been married for 46 years. When I was elected to Congress, I gave the oath of the office to my Constitution of the country. All 5 of those oaths were very important. But I have never in all my life, as one who's taken oaths, known a man who's more emblematic of the Scout Oath than the way he's lived his life. He is true to his country and his God. He stays physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight, and he helps anybody that comes across his way. J. Roy Rowland is emblematic of everything the Boy Scouts of America stands for, and he is the living oath of the Boy Scouts of America. He is the promise of the Boy Scouts of America. He is Dublin's first citizen. He is my dear friend, and I'm honored to be here tonight to share this with him on this important occasion and for the Troop 65 and the Boy Scouts of America in Dublin, Georgia. God bless you. I'm J. Roy. Thank you for all you've done.
Now it's my pleasure to call Selby McCash up for special remarks. I'm going to go over a little bit about Selby. He graduated from the University of Georgia School of Journalism in 1958. He's been the political editor and columnist for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, State Capitol Bureau Manager for the Macon Telegraph and News, and political and governmental commentator for the Georgia Public Television. In 1977, he was presented first place with the Media Award for the advancement of economic understanding administered by the Amos Tuck School of Business. He's twice been nominated for the Pulitzer Prize, an Associated Press Public Service Award for investigative journalism. He served as administrative assistant to Congressman Rowland for 12 years and communication director for Congressman Sanford Bishop for 10 years. He also collaborated on a book entitled 118 Days about the peace work in Iraq that was published in 2008, and in 2004 he retired and has been doing freelance writing. He currently resides in Fredericksburg, Virginia. Selby?
I was fortunate to be a part of the staffs of 2 Eagle Scouts for 22 years. And I learned something during those years, that scouting was not just something that Congressman Bishop and Congressman Rowland enjoyed when they were young. Scouting for them was a lifetime experience, a lifetime commitment. The Scout law and the Scout oath and the Scout motto were not just words they learned by heart on their way to becoming Eagle Scouts. Those were words they truly lived by and still live by today. And we considered the political considerations in everything we did in those offices. But if there was ever a question of right or wrong, principle trumped job security every time. And I tell one story about Congressman Bishop that when he voted against President Reagan's request for a $3 million budget request to buy weapons for the Contras in Nicaragua. You all may remember the Contras. They were the bad guys, and they were trying to overthrow the Sandinistas, the Marxist dictatorship that tried to undermine friendly nations and neighboring countries. And the Contra representatives had met privately with Congressman Rowland, with other members of Congress, to tell him that they really didn't want that $3 million. They didn't want to say that on the record because they didn't want to be in conflict with President Reagan. But they felt that the elections that had been called by the Sandinistas under international pressure would turn out favorably for them, that the Contras could possibly win, and that if more weapons were approved for them, that the Sandinistas would use that to call off the elections. President Reagan believed that the elections would be rigged, let's go ahead with the revolution. But Congressman Bishop believed that the Contras really did have a chance, and it's in the best interest of democracy to vote down those $3 million in weapons. And that touched off a firestorm. We had angry calls from constituents, angry letters. We critical columns in the newspapers. Our friend Bo Whaley opened fire on us with both barrels in his column in the Dublin Courier-Herald. A supporter of ours called and said, Congressman Rowland better do more to explain that vote because everybody's talking about it and we're going to get beat in the next election. But everything turned out okay. The Congress narrowly defeated the appropriation. The elections were held and the Sandinistas were voted out of office. Now, Scouts are brave, and that was a courageous vote. And I can mention a lot of votes like that during our years in office. I'll tell one more story about Congressman Rowland. When he told it to me himself, so I know it's true. When he was in high school, he was the movie projectionist at the Dixie Theater in Wrightsville, and he was a good projectionist. And but when Luella Price came to town, he would slip out of the movie projection booth and go down in the theater and sit with her. And sometimes the reel would run out, the screen would go blank, and he would have to run up to the movie projection booth and get the movie running again. Now, Scouts are trustworthy, but I'm not sure Congressman Rowland was so trustworthy as a movie projectionist when Luella Price was in town. But Scouts are kind, and I am sure of the many kindnesses that Congressman Rowland and Mrs. Rowland extended to those of us who served on his staff. So I want to speak for all of the staff members, including Mike Boggs, who is here with us tonight, in congratulating the Boy Scouts of America. You couldn't have made a more worthy choice. Thank you.
Welcome to Pitts Toyota, downtown Dublin, where people go to buy great cars at great prices. We're a family-owned and operated full-service automobile dealership, serving Middle Georgia since 1947.
Hi, my name's Nick Camerata, General Manager of Pitts Toyota. I've been with the Pitts team since 2009. It's our promise to provide you with an enjoyable, stress-free shopping experience. We have a full-service website that's fast, convenient, and easy to navigate.
Hello, I'm Steve Winter, Sales Manager here at Pitts Toyota. We provide a balance between the big city selection and the warm, familiar atmosphere of a hometown business.
Hi, I'm George Key. I've been with Pitts Toyota for 34 years. When you come into Pitts Toyota, you'll be greeted with a sales staff who are knowledgeable, caring individuals, and our only goal is to satisfy you.
Toyota, let's go places.
At this time, it's my honor to introduce my predecessor, DuBose Porter, who's going to introduce our next speaker.
Matt and J. Roy and I were matching notes before the program began tonight, and I realized that Roy was elected to the House of Representatives in 1976. I succeeded him in 82, and then Matt. There's been an Eagle Scout in this seat since 1976. J. Roy, thanks for setting the pace. Appreciate it. Thank you. J. Roy's a backyard neighbor. I won't tell you about hunting squirrels in the backyard on Belgian Road. But tonight it's my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the person who's going to present the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award on behalf of the Boy Scouts of America. Distinguished Eagle Scout Congressman Sanford Bishop. Sanford and I served in the House and have been friends for nearly 30 years. And Sanford, welcome to Lawrence County again. Good to have you here. Congressman Bishop is serving his 11th term in the U.S. House of Representatives, representing Georgia's 2nd Congressional District, which covers 29 middle and southwest Georgia counties. He was first elected to Congress in 1992 after serving in the House of Representatives from 77 to 1990 and the state Senate to 92. He was educated at Morehouse College, Emory University School of Law, served in the United States Army, and after receiving his honorable discharge, operated a law firm in Columbus, Georgia. He has received the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award from the Boy Scouts of America, given to Eagle Scouts for distinguished career achievement. He is a member of the Boy Scouts of America's Order of the Arrow, and as a youth was on the Order of the Arrow ceremonies team. He's a resident of Albany, Georgia. He's a member of the Mount Zion Baptist Church. He's a life member of the Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity initiated at Morehouse Pi Chapter, a Shriner and a 33-degree Mason. He's married to the Honorable Vivian Creighton Bishop, who serves as the elected clerk of the Municipal Court of Columbus, Georgia. They have a daughter, Aisha Reese, and a granddaughter, London. Please help me welcome an old friend who will present this wonderful honor to our good friend and neighbor, J. Roy Rowland, Congressman Sanford Bishop.
Thank you very much, DuBose. DuBose, I don't say is an old friend. I say we're friends of long standing. It is truly an honor for me to be here tonight to share and confer this auspicious and esteemed honor upon a friend of long standing, J. Roy Rowland. It is an honor, and I'm humbled that I was asked to come and to participate in this ceremony. The trail of the Eagle Scout is never over, but from time to time, we do pause on the trail for a very special tribute, and we are privileged tonight to be presenting the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award. This prestigious honor is given to an Eagle Scout who has uncommonly demonstrated his commitment to making our community a better place to live and to achieving career and life success. It's rarely presented. In fact, only 1 in every 1,000 Eagle Scouts has been awarded this high honor. We're privileged tonight to have the opportunity to bestow this special award on one of our own. The recipient will join the ranks of some well-known Eagle Scouts. Only 8 men have been so honored from the Central Georgia Council. They're listed in your program. J. Roy Rowland became an Eagle Scout on August 17, 1942. As you read in the program, J. Roy distinguished himself and brought honor to scouting and his profession with warmth and care as a visible public figure, and with his career achievements. He's indeed a role model for all Scouts and all Eagle Scouts. Well, our Scouts, please escort J. Roy and Luella to the stage. By the authority given to me by the National Council, Boy Scouts of America, I now declare this Court of Honor to be open and in session. It is my special privilege to present a resolution from the National Eagle Scout Association. It reads, whereas Congressman J. Roy Rowland, M.D., earned the rank of Eagle Scout as a member of the Boy Scouts of America 72 years ago on August 17, 1942, and whereas as an Eagle Scout he has continued to serve his God, his country, and other people by following the principles of the Scout Oath and Scout Law, and whereas he has achieved distinction as a U.S. military World War II veteran, physician, philanthropist, and public servant, and whereas he has given distinguished service to his community and nation as a U.S. Army surgeon and commander of a machine gun crew during World War II, physician, family practice in Middle Georgia, served 6 years as a state representative in the Georgia House of Representatives, served 12 years as congressman in the U.S. House of Representatives, Advisory Council member for Prevention of Child Abuse America, Community of Mental Health of Middle Georgia, Mercer University, J. Roy Rowland Endowed Lectureship Fund, Executive and Advisory Board member, Central Georgia Council, Boy Scouts of America, and supporter of many worthwhile organizations. And now, therefore, be it resolved that in recognition of these and other achievements and the desire of the Boy Scouts of America, upon nomination of the Central Georgia Council, acting on behalf of the National Executive Board of the Boy Scouts of America, the honor and rank of Distinguished Eagle Scout is awarded to and conferred upon J. Roy Rowland, Jr. It is my honor and my pleasure to present this award to you.
I don't think that there is enough time left here this evening to say what's in my heart. So just let me start out by reminiscing a little bit, because there are so many people here that I've been involved with over a long period of time. Senator Johnny Isaacson, Sanford Bishop, and me, we all came to the Georgia House of Representatives in 1977. Sanford went on to the state Senate, and then he went to the U.S. House, where he has distinguished himself and risen rapidly to the leadership in that caucus. Senator Johnny Isaacson sat next to me when we were in the Georgia House, and we became close friends then, and that friendship has endured over the years. Johnny, I appreciate you so much. We have seen each other many times, and your presence here tonight, just as Sanford's is, it's just overwhelming for me. Thank you so much for being here, both of y'all. Sanford, thank you for this presentation. And Selby McCash, as you've already heard, was my chief of staff and my communications director. He was with me for 12 years, and then he went with Sanford for 10 years. Selby and Claire, his fiancée, drove here yesterday all the way from Fredericksburg, Virginia, to be here, and they will leave to go back tomorrow. Isn't that something for somebody to do that? That is a real friend to do that. And Bill Stembridge, he is part of it. Bill was my district person for 9 years, and then he went with Senator Saxby Chambliss. And Saxby sent me a letter. He was not able to be here tonight, but Bill, thank you so much for being here. Matt, I've known a lot of state representatives over my time, but I'm telling you, you're the biggest and best that I've ever known. Matt, you're the gold standard. I mean, you have risen rapidly in the leadership in your caucus, and you're right at the top now. Congratulations. You do such a great job for us. I really appreciate you doing all that you've done to put this together. I know that you've worked on this so hard. Kim, thank you for being here, too. I really appreciate it so very much. Dubose, what can I say about a fellow that comes from a family that's got so many Eagle Scouts? He and I'm sorry your father couldn't be here. Lester Porter, who's a dear friend of mine, and Catherine, his mother, they produce some really outstanding people. Dubose was Eagle Scout. His brothers were Eagle Scout. All of his sons were Eagle Scouts, and that's what this is about. Dubose, thank you so very much for being here. You're a dear friend. I really didn't know that John Barrow was going to be here until 3 or 4 days ago. Thank you so much for coming. You're a dear friend, and you have done such a wonderful job in representing this district. We really appreciate you so very much. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Brother Ware said a while ago, behind every man there's a good woman. Let me tell you, any successes I may have had in my life is due to Luella. She has been right there for everything that I ever wanted to do. I've got to tell you a little story. There's a picture in that program that you can look at later. It's right at the bottom of the page where all the pictures are. When I ran for Congress the first time, Luella would leave in the morning, go in one direction, and I'd go in another direction. We'd campaign all day. We never really campaigned much together. But after I got elected, Lindsey Thomas was elected also for an adjoining district. And the district was down there, Waycross, and Waycross was in my district, and the people down there wanted to have a function for Lindsey, and Lindsey called me and asked me if I would come down, and I did. They were having it at the Waycross Country Club. So I went down and I walked in, and Lindsey was talking to someone there, and I walked up to him, and Lindsey said to Seth, I want you to meet J. Rowland here. The fellow turned and looked at me, and he shook my hand and went back to talking with Lindsey again. And then Lindsey said, where's Luella? And the guy turned and looked at me and said, you Luella's husband? And she has been with me all the time. My family is here, my 2 daughters. I started to say 3 daughters, that ain't right. Lou and Jane are here, and Jim, my son, and his wife, Kim, and my grandson, Rob, and I'm so pleased that they're here. I want to also tell you, that there's...
Got a pest in your life? Call Bug House Pest Control. Need wildlife removal? Call Bug House. Bed bugs? Call Bug House. Termites? Let the professionals at Bug House Pest Control protect your home against moisture, mildew, and mold. For professional, courteous, and personal service, call Bug House, and we'll make you another one of our satisfied customers.
I love the Bug House. I really trust them. They do our house, our office. They do my parents' house. We've had no problems since we started using them. I think everybody should use them.
Free quotes and free home inspection. Call today, 272-8955, and you'll see why people all over Middle Georgia are calling Bug House Pest Control. Bug House Pest Control, 1022 Hillcrest Parkway in Dublin.
There's another person here that that was with our staff, but he came there as a youngster in college. That's Judge Mike Boggs here on our state Court of Appeals. He came and stayed 2 years with us, and he came back home. He became a Superior Court judge, and he is now Appeals Court judge. You are a superb judge. I am so glad to have you here tonight. Thank you so much. I want to take a line from something that Selby McCash wrote. Selby is a freelance writer now. Selby said, everyone's life is an adventure. And that's right. My life has really been an adventure. I was born over in Wrightsville and came of age over there back during the Depression. Times were hard. I didn't really know they were that hard, but a lot of people were having trouble even putting food on the table. But it was one of the happiest times of my life. I was surrounded by a loving family. Both grandparents, sets of grandparents, lived within 2 blocks. I had uncles and aunts that lived there as well. And I joined the Boy Scouts in 1938 when I was 12 years old. I had to join in Dublin because there was no troop in Wrightsville at that time. The following year, 1939, we did get a troop, and it was Troop 61. And I went to Camp Ben Hawkins, which was out from Byron. Camp Ben Hawkins, Byron was just a small community then. But Camp Ben Hawkins is where I did all the work on my merit badges. I went there for 3 summers and did that. The last summer that I went there, I was on the staff. But I completed all the requirements in 1942. But the war was going on then. I graduated from high school in 1943 and was offered the very choice spot on the staff for that summer, direct at the waterfront. I had passed the Scout lifeguard. I was a Red Cross lifeguard and was working on my instructor's rating, but since the war was going on, we decided that I should go on to college. I went to college for a couple of quarters, and most all of my high school classmates, they had gone into service, and so I finally convinced my parents to let me join. I thought I was going to go to school in the service, but I didn't go to school. I wound up in the infantry. But I went to Europe as an infantry soldier, and I experienced the stress and fear of ground combat. And everyone that's been in it knows that it is a terrible situation to be in. And I tell you that to tell you this. I had not received my Eagle Scout badge, but my mother had the badge presented to her that year. She wrote me a letter and said, what would you like for me to do with this Eagle Scout badge? And I told her to send it to me. And she did. And I recall when I received that Scout badge, there were 4 or 5 guys in my squad standing around. I opened it up, and they looked at that, and wow, they was really impressed with that. It was an object of conversation and interest and admiration. And I'm thinking, here we are in this most difficult situation, and that Eagle Scout badge attracts the kind of attention that it did. It was a wonderful experience getting that Eagle Scout badge in that situation. We came back home. Will and I were married. I went off to school, came to Dublin, Georgia. We've been in Dublin now for 60 years. I've been involved with the Scouts to some extent since that time, and it has been a truly great experience for me. I want to thank Bill Ficklin III, who is here, for nominating me for this award. I appreciate your board doing that, and I appreciate the Eagle Scout Association doing that for sending it up to the National Association who made the award for me. And I want to say to the people here, this community, this area has been wonderful to me. And there's no way that we could have done what we have done. There's no way that Llewellyn and I could have been any happier than we have been than living here. The people in Dublin, Lawrence County, in this area are absolutely wonderful. I want to say one more thing. When I think about the Scout Oath, there's one part of it that really sticks with me. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country. And the other is to be prepared. I've always tried to be prepared. I've tried to do what I could to fulfill the responsibility that I took in that oath. There are so many times that I would have left this world had it not been for the grace of God. Brother West, I thank you so much for coming here tonight. I want to thank all of y'all for this absolutely unbelievable, wonderful honor that you've bestowed on me. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all all tonight for coming and allowing me to join with you in saluting who I call Dr. Rowland, because when I first learned who he was Dr. Rowland. And when you meet people and grow up with them, you seem to always call them by the name you called them to start with. But he's Dr. Rowland, Congressman Rowland, and more affectionately known as J. Roy. So thank you. It's been my pleasure to join with y'all tonight. At this time, I'd like to call on Reverend Wes Moy to have our benediction.
Thank you, Matt. It's also been a great honor and privilege for me, Dr. Rowland, to be here for this special night for you and Luella. God bless you both. Would you stand now with me for the benediction? Dear God, as we leave this place, I pray that you would bless us and keep us all safe. May we all go forth with a renewed desire to give, to help, and to do our very best for you and for others. And may we always seek to keep ourselves physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Amen.